Cravings, you know? We all get them. That really intense, sometimes totally overwhelming desire for something specific to eat. But what if you could actually understand the science behind them and use it to your advantage? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're hacking your cravings, and we're breaking down a practical, science-backed plan to help you regulate and master them for good. Okay, so let's just dive right in with a little experiment. Right now, wherever you are, I want you to imagine a warm, freshly baked brownie. Seriously, picture it. The fudgy center, the melty chocolate chips, that rich smell. Now imagine bringing it up to your mouth and taking that first bite. Can you feel that amazing, indulgent texture? Yeah? If your mouth is starting to water even a little bit, you've just experienced what's called a cue-induced craving. And it really is that easy to trigger.
So now that we've all got brownies on the brain, let's look at our roadmap. We'll kick things off with the craving conundrum itself. Then we'll walk through a 7-day game plan before diving deep into the science of fuel, movement, and, believe it or not, rewiring your brain. And finally, we'll see how you can take all this way beyond the first week.
First up, the craving conundrum. You know, if you've ever felt like you're losing a battle against your own willpower, you are definitely not alone. So let's find out why just trying to resist is so rarely enough.
See, a craving isn't just some random feeling that pops up. It's often what science calls a cue-induced craving, which is basically a learned response. It's kind of like Pavlov's dogs, right? They heard a bell right before getting food, and eventually they started salivating at just the sound of the bell. Well, in the exact same way, our brains learn to associate certain cues, a picture, a smell, a TV ad, with the reward of food. And that triggers a really powerful automatic desire to eat.
And here's the problem. We live in what experts call a toxic food environment. We are constantly bombarded by these cues. I mean, think about it. Billboards, TV commercials, those ads that follow you around on social media, they're literally everywhere. And they're all designed to make us crave low-nutrient, high-calorie foods. So this isn't about you having a lack of willpower. It's that you're in a constant uphill battle against an environment that's designed to make you hungry. And if you want to understand the scale of this challenge, just look at this number. In a single year, food companies spent over $1.2 billion just on snack food advertising. That is a massive, incredibly well-funded industry that is dedicated to triggering that exact learned response we were just talking about. So, if our environment is pretty much working against us, how in the world do we fight back? Well, that brings us to our 7-day game plan. This is your practical first step to taking back control. So this is the 7-day weight loss jumpstart. It's a structured plan that's really designed to help you build healthier habits. The best way to think of it is as the practical application for all the scientific principles we're about to unpack. Now, the plan itself is pretty comprehensive. It starts with setting clear goals, because honestly, knowing your why is so critical for motivation. Then it moves into tracking your measurements, and not just weight, so you can celebrate all kinds of progress. Next up is planning your meals and your exercise, which is all about taking the guesswork out of your week. And finally, it encourages you to try new recipes, so you're actually building a toolkit of healthy, delicious options. It really gives you a solid structure to build on. The plan also has several key tips for success, things like planning ahead and staying hydrated, but I really want to zero in on 3 of them that are backed by some absolutely fascinating science: exercise, prioritizing fiber-rich carbs, and increasing protein. So let's explore why these 3 are such total game changers. And that brings us to the science of fuel. We just highlighted carbs and protein as key tips, so let's unpack exactly why what you're putting into your body matters so much when it comes to managing those cravings. First things first, not all carbs are created equal. On the one hand, you've got refined carbs like white bread and pasta. They could digest it super quickly, which can lead to these energy spikes and crashes, and that leaves you feeling hungry again pretty soon after. But on the other hand, fiber-rich carbs like oats or sweet potatoes take a lot longer to digest, and this is key. It keeps you feeling full and satisfied, which is an absolute game changer for managing hunger and cravings. Okay, now for a really cool concept. It's called the thermic effect of food, or TEF for short. Basically, this is the energy your body has to burn just to process the food you eat. I'm serious. You burn calories while you are digesting your food. It's a key part of your metabolism. And this chart shows exactly why that tip about protein is so critical. I mean, just look at that difference. Protein has a dramatically higher thermic effect than carbohydrates and especially fats. What that means is your body has to work significantly harder, burning way more calories just to digest it. So, eating more protein doesn't just keep you full, it literally boosts your metabolism. How cool is that?
All right, next up, let's talk about the science of movement. The plan really emphasizes exercise, and for very good reason. It's about so much more than just trying to burn off the calories from that brownie we were imagining.
So let's focus on walking, which is a core part of the plan. It's low impact, it's accessible for almost everyone, and the benefits are just incredible. We're talking improved heart and lung fitness, stronger bones, reduced body fat, and a lower risk of major health issues like heart disease and stroke. It is honestly one of the best all-around exercises you can possibly do. And for those of us who love having a concrete target to shoot for, here it is. Research shows that aiming for 10,000 steps a day is a fantastic goal for achieving really significant long-term health benefits. So, we've covered what you eat and how you move. But the real control center for all of our cravings, well, that's your brain. So now let's get into the most powerful tool you have, rewiring your own mind. Okay, so check this out. Research from the National Institutes of Health has found 2 key areas in the brain for this. You can think of one part as your craving center. It's what lights up with desire. But you also have a control center. And the most empowering part of all this research is discovering that we can consciously learn to turn up the volume on our control center and turn down the volume on that craving center.
And here is exactly how you do it. The now strategy is what our brain does by default. It just focuses on immediate pleasure. That brownie will taste so good. But the later strategy is this simple but incredibly powerful mental shift. Instead of thinking about how good that brownie will taste now, you consciously shift your focus to the long-term consequences, how eating it will impact your health and fitness goals later.
And this isn't just some feel-good idea. This mental trick has a real, measurable impact. In one study, people who were trained in these cognitive strategies went on to consume, on average, 121 fewer calories in their next meal. So this isn't just a theory. This mental shift measurably changes your behavior.
So how do we take all these scientific tools and the structure of a 7-day plan and actually turn them into a sustainable lifestyle? Well, that brings us to our final section, beyond the first week. This quote from that NIH study really sums it all up perfectly. This whole thing isn't about restriction or fighting some constant battle with yourself. It's about fundamentally altering the internal architecture of how you make choices. By practicing these strategies, you're not waiting for some external force to save you. You're learning how to nudge yourself toward healthier decisions from the inside out. So we'll leave you with this thought. You now have a scientific toolkit to understand your cravings. You know you can change how you think and how you act. So the only question left is, which craving are you going to conquer first?